Hey, Visha. Happy Tuesday. How you doing? How you doing today? Blessings, blessings, blessings. I am doing all right. Listen, the morning started off a little bit shaky. Capone, no, Capone. The morning started off a little bit shaky, but I am in a much better place. Place. And so our declaration is going to be snap out of the funk. That's going to be our, and I pray that you're doing well. I pray that you are doing well. Come here, Bo. Listen, that is so good to hear. Yes, it is. Our declaration is going to be snap out of the funk. Come on, snap out of the funk. I'm going to say it again. Snap out of the funk. You ever had one of those days where you wake up and you feel that something's off? Anybody ever and I'm not talking about, waking up on the wrong side of the bed, but I mean, you ever woke up to a brand new day coming out of a really good day and then just felt Lord, something is straight up off. Whether you can feel that it's off emotionally, whether it's off mentally, you just kind of can perceive something I don't got a good feeling about this day, God. I had a good day yesterday, but you literally just be I don't have a good feeling about today, right? This was me this morning. I had a really great day, a really productive day yesterday. And then today I woke up and it's I literally told God, Lord, something doesn't feel right about this day. Some off, God. And I don't know what is off, but something is off. And sure enough, as I finished my walk and just began to go throughout the day doing what I needed to do, it's the more and more time passed, it's kind of for really no apparent reason, I just kind of felt myself feeling a little bit down today, feeling a little bit anxious, but not really being able to really pinpoint, Lord, what is it, right, that I'm dealing with? I pray that I'm making sense. I was in that mindset, Lord, what is this, right? And so I sat outside. It's pleasant. And I was just talking to God. I had someone that inquired about a session. Wasn't a good fit. I knew it wasn't going to be a good fit. But sometimes we can hear God tell us something. I knew immediately when this person reached out, I don't need to coach her. And sure enough, I went through with the phone call, not a session, but a discovery session just to see if we would be a good fit because this person found me off of TikTok. And sure enough, literally as the conversation is going, God had me literally tell this person, listen, I'm not a good fit. I could try to help you find somebody that's a good fit for you, but I ain't it. I am literally not it. And it's immediately after that happened, I felt a release. And it's kind of in that moment, something clicked in my mindset that said, I'm going to go back. Even certain things that were hanging in the balances were kind of worrying me. The rental assistance, all these different aspects of things. And I was just kind of just feeling unsettled. But it was also one of those mornings where I was literally telling God, Lord, I'm not going to let how I feel make me think that you're not taking care of me, because it ain't the truth. It was one of those moments where I was actively combating thoughts that came from the enemy. I'm going to just call it what it is. Thoughts that fear provoked, right? Nevertheless. But as I was going throughout the morning, I just literally heard God just say, snap out of this. And it's in that moment after that phone call, it's kind of I just knew it ain't over. Hey, Pastor Ron. The waiting is not the end result. Whatever it is that I feel I'm lacking today, it's not the truth. And I believe that on today, he wants me to talk about getting to a point where you can snap out of the funk. And I think it's perfectly normal, that it's a human thing, that like there are just some days where you wake up and you kind of dread the day. You kind of like feel that things are off. You can kind of spiritually sense, blessings to y'all. You know, you can kind of spiritually sense when it's going to be one of those days where whether it's a spiritual warfare kind of day, you know, whether it's going to be, you know, a day where honestly, if you pay attention, you can literally sense those days where the enemy is going to try you. If you pay attention to how you feel and what's going on around you. But I want to glean from like what I did to actually snap out of the funk, right? And I think the first thing that I did was I combated whatever thoughts I was having, whatever the emotions were that I was feeling. I combated it with the truth. And I think that for many people that are not really able to snap out of that funk, it's simply because you allow whatever the negative feeling is to wallow. You allow it to linger. And it affects your thoughts. And the enemy starts talking to you about how something is never going to happen, how it's never going to work out. He may even tell you that, listen, this storm, this thing, it's going to eat you alive. But when you can get to a point, Snow Capone, when you can get to a point where you can acknowledge that the thoughts that you're having in those moments, in those emotional moments, are not the truth, then I think that that is half of the battle, right? Because that was something that I was actively doing. I felt the feeling, I heard the thought, but then I remembered the reality of my life, the reality of the situation, the reality, honestly, of who God is. And so key number one to getting to a point where you can snap out of the funk, whether it's a mental funk, a spiritual funk that you feel yourself in, whether it is just flat out warfare that you're dealing with, is combating, casting whatever the thoughts are, whatever the negative emotions are, because emotions lie to you, and speaking the truth, speaking the will of God, acknowledging who God is to you. That is key number one. The second thing that I did was I allowed God to give me resolve. Meaning I allowed God to breathe into me. I received his peace. I was in a position where I understood I don't want to deal with this all day. So I'm going to give whatever it is, for whatever reason it is, to you. And Lord, I'm literally going to receive the fruit of the Spirit. And here's the thing, even though the fruit of the Spirit is freely given, a lot of times when we're in an emotional rut, an emotional funk, we are not receptive to receiving peace because we'd rather worry, we'd rather let those thoughts linger because it's tempting. Like, let's just be real. Anybody ever had a moment where you having an emotional moment and instead of receiving God's peace, you choose to just literally linger. You choose to just linger on it because it's tempting to worry about the things that are important to you, to get emotional about the things that are near and dear to your heart. But when you really get to a place of spiritual maturity, you really begin to understand that not everything, in life you will be able to fix. And you recognize easily when you're at a crossroads, meaning that place where there's legitimately nothing else that you can do. And it's only in those moments that you put yourself in a position to really be able to receive the fruit of the Spirit that can only come from God and God alone. And the third thing that I did, apart from casting down those thoughts, speaking the will of God, choosing to be receptive to receiving the fruits of the Spirit, the last thing that I did was I made a move, right? I'm going to say it again. You may say, what you mean you made a move, Apostle? Like I actively did something, right? Whatever the enemy was distracting me from, I believe was broadcasting, being productive with the day. I chose to say, God, I'm going to do the exact thing that these emotions told me I didn't feel like doing. I chose to push myself into a place of productivity, a place of being willing to let God use me. And I think that honestly, if a person can do those three things actively when you wake up on the wrong side of the bed, when you wake up feeling like it's just going to be one of them days, I guarantee, Capone, no. I guarantee that if you can do those three things, you'll be able to snap out of whatever it is that you feel. You'll be able to snap out of it. Why? Because you're receptive to snapping out of it. Because you understand that if you let certain things linger, not only will it disrupt your day, but it'll disrupt your level of productivity. I pray that I'm making sense. And so again, the declaration is snap out of it. Can I just get somebody to type that in? Snap out of it. I'm going to say it again. Snap out of it. And I know I'm not the only person that has woken up feeling like it's just going to be one of them days. I'm not the only person that has had moments. And for some people, you were just like me this morning, having a moment, being in a little bit of a rut, focusing too much on the things that you're waiting for. And it may have made you feel some type of way. But I believe that what God is saying on today is snap out of it. Snap out of it. We all have things going on that are near and dear to our heart. I'm going to say that again. We all have things that are near and dear to our heart. Things that we're waiting for, things that we're believing God for. And maybe we've been waiting a while in some of these areas. We have those moments where sometimes you wake up and unconsciously, right? Your mind begins to go there. You begin to think about it. You start to worry. Your mind starts to wander. And before you know it, an entire day has gone by and you have not gotten anything accomplished, let alone have you even been able to see any progress made. And that lets us know that focusing on the problem doesn't always solve the problem. I'm going to say it again. Focusing on the problem, focusing on the issue doesn't always solve it. It doesn't always move the hand of God. I'm going to say it again. Focusing on the problem, focusing on the issue doesn't always move the hand of God. But what it can do is keep you from accomplishing whatever God needs you to accomplish in that moment. Don't do it to yourself. I'm telling y'all, don't do it to yourself. I feel like I need to say that again. Don't do it to yourself. Many of us have had those encounters where we have let our thoughts get the best of us, where we have allowed ourselves to get in an emotion. Don't do it to yourself. The reason why I was so receptive today was because I understand that I've made it through so many things that the enemy really meant to destroy me, right? And I understood, like, God, if I give him an inch, he gonna take him out. He gonna try to take me out. And that's really and genuinely what the devil does. You give him an inch, you show a little bit of weakness, you choose not to trust God, he literally tries to take you out. And I think that for many people, this is why, not only does the Bible say stay on guard, but this is why God is being so adamant on saying snap out of it. Snap out of it. I think too in this season, I'm at a point where I don't have time to play with the devil. I don't have time to be going through the same thing over and over. I don't have time. I don't have time to not be productive any day. I don't have the time. I don't have the energy to be fighting battles that I don't have to fight, especially when all that's needed is for me to just literally trust God and leave it in his hands. Man, in that last season, I wasted so many days because I was so stressed out. That old season, the last year and a half, I wasted so much time dealing with unnecessary things because I was letting what I was going through get the best of me. And by letting those situations get the best of me, boy, the devil was having a field day. I was not productive in the old season. I was as productive as I could be, but I wasn't as productive as I would have liked to have been. I've had those moments where you wake up on the wrong side of the bed and it seems like the day goes so slow because you're so stressed out, you're so worried, you're so, discouraged. I've been there. I've had those struggle days. But I also understand that this season is different. And that if I give the enemy any space, he's going to literally try to wipe me out, whether he wants to wipe me out with depression, anxiety, double-mindedness, whatever the case may be. And so I'm going to tell you, you don't have the time to let the enemy have a field day with your day. Because you could be one day of being productive away from your next blessing, your next miracle. You could just be one day of just truly focusing on God and obeying him. One day away from seeing God move, from seeing God do whatever it is that he wants to do. And that's the word. Snap out of it. Stop it. Snap out of it. That is the word. Snap out of it. I'm not going to add anything else to it. I'm not going to take away anything from it. That is the word that God gave me. And that's just that. So listen, to those of you guys that feel led to sow, you guys can sow on whatever platform you feel led to sow on. If you need prayer for anything, or have a testimony to share, you guys can actually reach the email. You can see the email in the description, as always, of every single video. To those of you guys that are interested in booking sessions, that email address is there as well. The finances of what you guys sow is literally going to go towards paying my internet bill. That's it. That is it. And I want to say, to cover that, it is around $71. It's like $70 and some odd cents, but it's around $71. And so that is where the money is going to go towards. It's actually 2 days late today. And so it's the way that I broadcast. It's what enables for me to do what I do, because I don't have great reception here. Move, Capone. And so that's it, y'all. As I always tell y'all, I love y'all. I'm rooting for you. So until next time, y'all, peace.